Yo, welcome back to another production video. It's hella cold, but we keep the vibes going. So what I did here, the beat that I'm going to show you is I posted a snippet of this beat and I just played it a little bit just so that some of you guys can hear how the beat is sounding. But today I want to break it down and like break down the elements that I added to this beat just to put it together so that you can have some inspiration and so that you can kind of get inspired and know the kind of, you know, stuff that you might want to put into your own beats so that you can achieve this kind of sound. So the first thing I added was obviously a loop. So I have a loop here that sounds like this. So this is a really cool loop. It's just going like that. Like you can tell that it's got some, you know, it's a mixture of some claps and some shakers and things like that. And then next what I did, I threw on a pad just to, you know, to play a little bit of some melody. So that's the pad, and the pad sounds like this. It's a simple pad, but I just played it as single notes. I didn't play it like as like in chords. It's called a lush pad. It would definitely work if I wanted to play chords. It would definitely work. I think I'm going to use it in chords in another beat, right? I think I'm going to use that. And then the next thing I wanted to add was a snare, because what I've noticed is, you know, with this kind of vibe, you also just want to, you know, throw in a nice, really slappy snare right there, right? So I threw in a snare that you can see right here. Just like that, just that one snare right there, and then that's it. And then the next thing was just a kick, right? So this is, you know, in a 3-step groove. So my first kick is this one kick here. And then it starts over again, right? So it's just going bum, bum, bum. I really like this vibe. This groove is really coming out together. And then after that, I wanted to throw in a log drum. So what I did with the log drum is I just loaded it. It's a sample. I just loaded it in a quick sampler, which is just a sample. Someone was actually asking me how exactly did I load a log drum in Logic Pro, but this is how I did it, right? So I can play around with it if I want to. Like I can even go an octave lower. And it sounds good. Like the quick sampler in Logic sounds really amazing. So I just wanted to add just some pops of log drum just to, you know, make sure that the track sounds really cool. So here's how it sounds. Just like that. So then after that, I also added another sound here, which which is a sound that is just a default retro synth patch. So I like to throw in these sounds just here and there, just so that it, you know, it just fills in the track and adds some, you know, some nice ambience. So it's just that one note. I think it's lower. Yeah, those low notes, because it's also adding to the bass, because you see the log drum is adding bass and then this sound is also adding some bass. Just like that, right? So, and then after that, I also added this sound here, which is this simple analog lead. Just like that, right? So it's just hitting those simple notes, just going ba 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 ba. Just like that. Just like that, simple notes, just like 4 notes, and then that's it. So you don't have to do so much, you know, with these kinds of sounds. You just have to add just a little bit, but the placement of them just have to be perfect, right? And then after that, I added this sound called the slow swells here. So you can hear this sound here. Let me just play it on its own. It's sounding like this. And it's actually moving. It's super cool, this sound here. So I just made sure that it has kind of this arpeggio effect going on. So it is a patch. You can see here it just says simple analog lead. So you can tell that it's moving on its own. So it's actually moving on its own. It's an evolving sound. I'm not doing that on my own with automation, but it's just a preset that is set up like that to move on its own, which I found really cool. So that's actually half the job done for me there. And then I also added a simple lead. So if I bring back some of these other sounds here, you'll see what that sounds together. It's just that one note. Just that one note here, and it's just a simple lead again in retro synth. I really like the retro synth plugin in Logic. It really sounds dope. And then after that I just added some effects, like I added a crash effects here, just like that, right? And then another thing that I also threw in that really made this track come together was all the effects that I added. Like you can see here on this track, you can see all these tracks here are effects, right? So what I did was I just threw in some drum fills just to here and there. So the fills that I added was this one that's right here. You heard that, right? That's the first fill. Let me play it again. That's the first fill, and then I also have some other ones which are right here. And then I also added a boom crack effect. It just added some really nice ambience to the track that I really enjoyed. And then I also added another one here, which is this brakes driver effect. Nice like that. And then what you see down here is also just a vocal chop, right? So it's just going oh. Just like that. Let me actually solo it so you can hear it on its own. Just like that, simple, but it's going well with the track, right? That's what I added there. So those are the things that I added, but this is just the A section of the track. And then the B section, what I did was I changed the bass. I really switched up the bass. I added this muted bass. I liked how it sounds. Like, it sounds really cool. So now if I play the bass, let me play it with the kick and some of these sounds here so that you can hear it nicely. Just like that. It's a simple bass. So that's how I played it right there. So you can see I just played it like that. Just like that, super simple, but it sounds really good with the track. It sounds really good, but I just had to cut it down so that it starts off with a one note right here, like just there, and then it holds, and then on the next 8 bars, and then it goes forward, like it goes. Just like that, right? And then that's cool. And then I also added another layer of bass down here, which is another muted bass. This is more like I also added a hollowed bass after that, just to layer the bass. So this is the bass, another texture of a bass, but it's not super subby like the first one, right? So I just added it right here, so both of them sound like this. So this is the hollowed bass on its own. So it was just filling in those frequencies that the muted bass didn't have. It was just filling those frequencies in. And then if both of them play together, let me just solo the two of them together so that you can hear how they sound. I get a much richer bass sound. Let me actually rename these. I can just say name by region. There we go. Because I saw that it's not named correctly. So that's what I did. And then all in all, the track sounds really cool. Let me just play it back for you in real time so you can hear how it sounds. But if you haven't already, make sure to just like the video and also subscribe if you're new here. Let me play this track out so you can listen to it while we ride out in the video and just vibe out to the beat. I think it sounds really dope. I actually did this by mistake. I actually didn't know that this sound, I could change it, you know, using this pad here. Just like that. I did that by mistake. I think I touched by mistake while I was playing the beat. That was not in there. That was so cool. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in another video. Stay inspired, stay creative. I'll see you soon. I'm X and I'm out. Peace.